That's why I was advising you.
Pardon?
That's why I was advising the House. And let's go clause by clause.
No, this is the clause. You're talking of the clause.
Exactly. Let's go to committee stage so that we are discussing a clause one by one for us to understand.
Right, Honorable Speaker, first hear from me. At reporting stage is where you give a duly and full explanation.
Yeah.
At committee stage, you either agree to give away and take, or amend, or drop what is existing. But first I have to convince the members of the House that what we are doing is detrimental, because the report clearly says that they support. So I must oppose at reporting stage, then give my justification at the committee stage.
Honorable Med.
Don't know. We shall leave it to them. But Right Honorable Speaker, begging for your indulgence, I would like to bring to light the issue that touches that is clause 4 of the bill, that talks about amendment of the Principal Act to include VAT on software. Yeah, I have a huge passion for technology, and I know it's the only thing that will liberate the African person. It's the only equalizer that we have, the window of equalizer for unemployed, young, innovative people. You might laugh about it, but it's given an edge to emerging economies. Right Honorable Speaker, we were here last year, and I warned about the same thing, that URA was going into chartered waters where the achievement would be zero. It's back. Because things to do with technology do not lie. They are based on data. Right Honorable Speaker, without software infrastructure, there is no progression in innovative technology that you can get. The President, in his State of the Nation address recently, the past year, but also in his campaign manifesto, he talked about ICT as one of the backbones of developing the economy, but to also integrate the young, innovative people, but also transform society. We've spent a lot of money on digital transformation, but here we are now trying to promote the very same thing that destroys the fabric of digital transformation. Right Honorable Speaker, this as a gadget is hardware. Without software, it's useless. Without software, this gadget is useless. But let's look at the simple things that we use. If a certificate of financial implication was issued as regards this section, because I want to make it as simple as possible for everyone to understand, who is the biggest consumer of software transformational updates in this economy? It's the payment systems that we are using. For example, the government payment system, the one we use, is called the what? IFMIS. The moment you put 17% on all its software that is imported, we will have to come back here and appropriate 17% above the cost of what it's being used to run. At the end of the day, who is going to pay for it? It's the taxpayer again. All the contracts that you have predated to this, when you pass it, will have to have a revisional clause where you must revise. I can give you a simple thing. We have what we use here in technology. It's called the audiovisual technology. It's not from us. The software to keep this secure and have everything securely protected by the cloud, so that your passwords in Parliament are not broken into through the software. It's something that is not developed here. It's something that is imported. That would mean any software provider that has a pre-existing contract with Parliament will have to come back to Parliament and we sign additional fees and revise this contract, and it will have a financial implication on all of us. But what am I trying to say, Right Honourable Speaker? That is as regards the government. Do we need to amend this section to have double taxation that you've been talking about?
Which section is that?
Section 28 of the bill.
That's why I was advising you.
Pardon?
That's why I was advising the House. And let's go clause by clause.
No, this is the clause. You're talking of the clause.
Exactly. Let's go to committee stage so that we are discussing a clause one by one for us to understand.
Right Honourable Speaker, first hear from me. At reporting stage is where you give a duly and full explanation.
Yeah.
At committee stage, you either agree to give away and take, or amend, or drop what is existing. But first I have to convince the members of the House that what we are doing is detrimental, because the report clearly says that they support. So I must oppose at reporting stage, then give my justification at the committee stage.
Honorable Medi will give all your justifications and amendments if it deems fit.
Right Honourable Speaker, my proposal is we leave the status as is, and it may be treated by...
The Honourable, thank you for... Right Honourable, the matter that Honourable Nsereko, the Ayatollah, the landlord, the outgoing landlord of Kampala Central, is giving us...
And Team 115.
Is giving very useful information, but procedurally, as you've guided, this information, I wonder what kind of arguments he would make when we are at the committee stage. Will he be repeating himself? I'm raising a procedural matter. This is not a matter of Kira.
This is a procedural matter. You mean even up to now when you're leaving, you don't know the difference? Okay, you
Right.
understand, you see.
Which order you
You continue.
And I know that Honorable Semuju loves me so much, but I will miss you, for the record. I will miss you in this house, and you will miss me.
A person who will be mostly missed is him for procedure. But on legislation, the person who will be missed will be Honorable Jonah.
Yes. So, Right Honorable, my point of procedure is that, which you've already guided, and I want to plead with my honorable colleague to accept, that at this stage, this is a general debate about the principles of the legislation. Now, if you're going to specific on the clauses, we can only do that successfully when we are at the committee stage. And I think let's go by the wise guidance of the Speaker so that we move. And yes.
Honourable members, do you agree with that? Jonah, I want you to debate on the clauses.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Formally, now I notify you I will no longer move the motion for adjournment, having read carefully that the vote may not be in my favor. At the declaration level of the results, given the interest of the Right Honourable. Madam Speaker, I now want to debate on principle. First, there were two concerns about VAT in the country raised by the traders. The first was the threshold, which has been dealt with in the proposal from 150 to 250. They may have other arguments. We have heard that the proposal was to go to 500. The second concern was the rate itself, because we know in some countries, including within East Africa, some VAT rates are as low as 16%. So even 8, some, but I know of, at least I can speak authoritatively of ones I know, about 16%. In the processing of this bill, we had expected either the government or the committee to address us on those concerns. What is their take on the rate which has been argued. Remember 2 years ago when the issues of the traders downtown came, one of the proposals they made was that VAT has to be revised from 18 downwards. And we have not had any report regarding that matter. That would be my concern. The second concern is the justification for raising it from 150 million to 250. The committee and the minister premises their argument that in 2015 was the last time that the VAT was raised. I have done simple calculations. You have not moved from 2015. Because in 2015, 150 million, if you compare to the rate, exchange rate, the dollar then, was around 3,098. And now we have about 3,700. It means for every 1 shilling of that 150 million, we now multiply by 600, which brings us to around 240. So I want to dismiss that it is not correct that you have actually improved or raised upward substantially. What you have done is just to equate the value of 150 million in 2015 to the current value, which is 250. That's why I will agree that perhaps the proposal by the minority of revising it way beyond 250 will have to suffice. The second point I would like to debate, Madam Speaker, is on the credit allowed by foreigners and Ugandan citizens under Clause 4. Yes, I allow clarification.
My brother, Honorable Odur, when you propose 500 million Uganda shillings as turnover to be threshold, gives an impression that this trader is able to make a turnover of 41.5 million in a month. So the clarification I want from you is how many of these people are you envisaging, given the research or proposal, that would fall in that bracket?
Madam Speaker, if there was any strong justification I was looking for to show that the government has not done any research at all, is the submission of the chairman. This is exactly what this committee should have done. Because my argument, and I want you to get it, is that in 2015, 150 million of 2015 is exactly 250 million today. So if your argument is that you are raising the VAT threshold, it should be beyond just compounding it to bring that value, that past value, into the present value. So for me, the 250 million now is not any different from the threshold in 2015. And that's why I wanted the government to explain, are you just merely upgrading or equating the 150 million? That's the point I was raising. Secondly, I was talking about the distinction between the foreigner and a citizen in as far as Clause 3 is concerned, the principle itself. I have seen that you want to allow a credit, allowable credit, and you have set 10 million US dollars for foreigners and 5 million US dollars for citizens. Of course, this should worry foreigners, Ugandans who are soon might be called foreigners. But I don't want to go into that debate. But once you start coming into the law, and we are seeing you as bringing these terminologies between foreigners and now a citizen, and yet we know where we are heading, it should worry those who are living outside. But my point is, 18 billion shillings is not an easy amount for a citizen living here. I find it way too high. If you wish to allow a citizen who is going to construct a hotel within those 2 years, think critically. And I can ask the same question you have asked me. How many Ugandans now who will go into the hotels? Certainly, maybe we are very few here.
Thank you.
With exception of the last one, Madam Speaker.
With exception of
yeah, the last one is for the minister to convince us why he requires power to vary the terms and conditions as proposed. Because legislation, especially something to do with taxation, I always encourage that Parliament retains its powers 100% to be able to vote, because we are the ones accountable at the end of it all. So I see that the minister wants to have power on terms and conditions of payment of tax. These ministers, Madam Speaker, let me mention, they are not very easily accessible. I've raised it in the past. And they don't have the national outlook of things. We don't want to give ministers powers to start segmenting a certain proportion of society and favoring them by issuing this instrument, and yet others are being left.